Products Liability, Warranties and Torts, Chapter 24. In this chapter, we'll look at the theories of product liability. This is the body of law that we use when we need to sue because we've purchased a product that's either defective or has harmed us in some way. We'll look at the difference between express and implied warranties, and then we'll look at specifically the language that we would put in our contract if we want to disclaim a warranty. Five theories of product liability. In the law, you typically use several areas to pursue a claim, not just one theory, because you want as many opportunities to win as possible. When you are claiming that you've purchased a product that has either harmed you physically or doesn't work, is just defective, you've got several areas of law that you can use. You can pursue based on an express or implied warranty supplied by the UCC. You can use common law principles of negligence and fraud, or you can sue using strict tort liability. We are going to primarily look at the theories that are available to us through the UCC because business law classes primarily focused on the law that is included in the Uniform Commercial Code. In the UCC, we're going to be looking at express and implied warranties. Some courts use strict tort liability also for defective goods, but we're not really going to focus on that in this class. So if you purchase a product and it doesn't work, or you purchase a product and even worse, it hurts you in some way, your attorney has at their disposal any of these areas of law: express and implied warranties, negligence, fraud, and strict tort liability. And a good attorney is actually going to see if the facts support bringing a claim under all of these particular theories. And of course, as I mentioned, the type of harm, it can be physical, where you buy a product and it hurts you, or you buy a product and it just doesn't work. Who can sue? Well, first of all, let's talk about under common law. Under common law, you had to have what's called privity of contract. Privity of contract required that the person suing had to be the original purchaser or buyer of the product and then be suing the original seller. So they had to be the parties who were the original parties in the transaction in order to sue. So if you were hurt by a product that you didn't buy, you would not be in privity of contract as it related to that item, and you couldn't sue if you got hurt by it. Or if you were using a product secondhand, let's say you bought the product from a friend and you were hurt by the product or it didn't work, you could not sue the manufacturer because you would not be in privity of contract. That's at common law. The modern trend under the UCC is that privity of contract is no longer required. Anyone who is harmed by a product, whether they purchased it or not, can sue. Whom can they sue? They can sue the seller of the product, the manufacturer of the product, or even a manufacturer of a component of the product. So for example, Sharon Jones buys a Honda Accord. She has an accident because her brakes fail. Sharon, as the plaintiff, could sue the retailer who sold her the car, say the Crown Honda dealership in Greensboro. She could also sue the manufacturer of the car, the Honda Motor Company, and if she can pinpoint that what actually went wrong in the car was a failure in the brakes, she might also want to bring in the manufacturer of the brakes, EBC Brakes. So the plaintiff could sue all three of these parties: the seller, the manufacturer, and the manufacturer of the component part. And one of the reasons a plaintiff would want to do this is because if you don't, the defendant, let's say you choose just the retailer, the seller of the car, Crown Honda, and you are in an accident, the brakes fail, and because of it, you sustain physical damage to your vehicle and you have a concussion. Well, if you sue Crown Honda, they might say, well, we just sold the car. We didn't manufacture it. We're not the reason that you had damage. So that's why you would want to go ahead and have the manufacturer already in the lawsuit, because you would anticipate that the reseller of the car is going to say that they had nothing to do with the actual mechanical function of the vehicle. But then Honda might say, yes, we put the components together and sold the one, complete unit, but we didn't actually make or design the brakes. So therefore, you want to be able to sue the component maker. And our law allows you to bring all three of those parties together in one lawsuit. Although there are 5 theories of liability that you can use in pursuing a product's liability case, for this class, we're only going to focus on the 2 theories provided by the UCC, express warranties and implied warranties. So what's an express warranty? It's a statement of fact made about a product. It's not opinion, it's not puffery. What do I mean by that? In order to give rise to an express warranty, you've got to have a statement that's objective about the product. For example, if you're looking at a Honda Accord at a car lot, if the car salesman tells you, oh, this is one of the fastest cars around, that's a statement made about the car. And it's probably being made to induce you as a buyer to purchase. But you could not say that this is the fastest car around is a statement of fact. It sounds more like what we call puffery. It's certain, also you could call that an opinion. It's puffery, and we use that term to refer to marketing speak, when the things that salesmen say in order to get you excited and to want to purchase a product. But in order for a statement about a product to rise to the level of creating an express warranty, such that if the statement turns out to not be true, that you could have some consequences behind it, then the statement being made needs to be objective fact about the product. For example, if the salesman told you you're looking at a Honda that has a V8 engine, then you purchase the car and it turns out it only has a V6. That statement that the car had a V8 engine is a statement of fact that becomes a basis of the transaction, what the buyer was relying upon when they made the decision. And as a result, if the statement made was not true, the buyer can pursue remedies against the seller. So an express warranty has got to be fact made about the product, and it can't be an opinion. Now, sometimes you read statements about products, and sometimes you're just told statements about product. So an express warranty can come in many forms. The easiest is if there are a written description about the product. If you're looking at the car and there's usually that little sheet of paper in the window and it describes the attributes of the car. It's got power steering, power brakes. There's a laundry list of items that the car is supposed to have. That list creates an express warranty. When you, the buyer, are looking at that list, you are reading it believing everything on this list is in this car. And that creates in you an expectation that the car has those items. And therefore, if it doesn't, you can sue on the theory of breach of the express warranty. So descriptions that are provided with a product give rise to a warranty, but also samples or models that are provided with products give rise to an express warranty. Let's say you're in Target and you see a vacuum cleaner that's on display. There's a model that's been put together and is on the top shelf. And then underneath that shelf are boxed versions, presumably of the same vacuum cleaner. And on those boxes, there are probably photos that show an assembled vacuum cleaner. When you see the model that's already been put together, and when you see the picture on the box where it lists all of the components that are in the box for that vacuum cleaner, you expect that when you purchase that vacuum, you're getting all of those components. And even if you don't need all of the attachments, if you get home and you see that one of them is missing, you would usually take it back to the store and complain, I purchased this vacuum cleaner. On the box, it shows 3 attachments. Mine only has 2. And it doesn't matter that you don't even need the third one. We all intuitively understand that when the depiction is put on the box, we are being led to believe that we're getting everything that's depicted on the picture or in the model or on the description. And the legal term for that is that that has been created an express warranty. Now, can the seller disclaim the warranty? Can they take it back? No. Express warranties, once given, cannot be disclaimed. Once a statement of fact is either made about the product, put in writing, or depicted, it becomes a basis of the transaction, and the seller cannot try and revoke it. They can't take it back. They can't disclaim it. We'll talk about disclaiming warranties in a few minutes, but you can't disclaim express warranties. Once it's made, it's there. Express warranties can be either full or limited. With the full warranty, the seller is obligated to fix or replace a defective product. With a limited warranty, the seller is going to spell out what they are willing to do. And if they have decided to limit the warranty, it must be conspicuously described in the enclosures that they put in the product. If you were to go through your home and look for products that you've purchased, particularly electronics, in probably each one of them, you will find a paper insert, or if you purchased it online, you might receive it electronically, a copy of the warranty. Most sellers are providing limited warranties where they promise that they will fix but maybe not replace, or they change the full warranty in some way. If the seller is not promising to fix or replace the defective product, then they are automatically giving you a limited warranty, and they must spell out what that limited warranty is. If the seller breaches the warranty, or the warranty turns out to be false, then there's a breach of the contract, the breach of the warranty specifically, and the buyer can sue. Let's consider a scenario. You are the buyer and you purchase a Samsung phone from Target. You take it home and it doesn't work. So what would you do? Most of us would immediately take it back and let the salesperson know that it doesn't work. What we are doing when we purchase a new product from a merchant seller and we return it when it doesn't work properly is asserting the warranty of merchantability. It's one of the prime implied warranties. Implied warranties are different from express warranties in a very important way. Express warranties had to be affirmatively given by the seller. The seller decided to make a statement about the product. The seller decided to prepare a description of the product. The seller prepared a model or sample. The seller took steps to describe their product, and then those statements of fact gave rise to a warranty. Implied warranties are different in that respect. The seller does not decide to create an implied warranty. Implied warranties are a function of the law. They are created by law. The Uniform Commercial Code has said, seller, When you are selling products, you are promising that the following things are true about your product. Whether you mean for them to be true or not, the law is imposing this on the sale. There are 5 different implied warranties. The first 3 are imposed upon all sellers: warranty of title, warranty against encumbrances, and warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. All sellers, that means merchants and non-merchants, are these warranties are imposed upon the sales of both merchants and non-merchants in any transaction. The last 2, warranty against infringement and warranty of merchantability, are only imposed upon the sales of merchant sellers. So let's look at them in turn. Warranty of title. Every seller is promising, guaranteeing that when they sell a product, that they have proper title to the product, that they own it. We talked about title earlier. When you have title to something, that means you own it. So if a seller is selling you a product, they are promising that they have the legal right to sell it. If it turns out they don't, in other words, if they're selling you stolen property, then they have breached the warranty of title, and that gives you an avenue in which you could pursue legal consequences against them. Warranty against encumbrances. With every sale, be it a merchant or non-merchant seller, there is the implied warranty that there are no liens on the product. An encumbrance is is a lien, is a financial interest that's on the product such that when you buy it, somebody else has a financial interest in it. You don't want that. You don't want to purchase a product and then find out that someone else has some sort of monetary interest in it where they could take the product back from you. So every seller, by law, is warranting that they are selling that product free of any liens or other financial encumbrances or burdens. The third warranty that all sellers give is the warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. Now this one, I'm going to call it a hybrid, because the warranty of fitness for a particular purpose is implied by law if certain circumstances are present. I'm going to talk about those circumstances. So the warranty of title, warranty against encumbrances, those are implied by law for all sellers under all circumstances. But a warranty of fitness for a particular purpose only is created if you have certain circumstances. And what are those circumstances? If a buyer comes in and tells the seller that they have a specific purpose for the product that they're looking to buy, something other than its ordinary use, and they make the seller aware of the specific purpose that they want this product for, and then the seller picks out the product for the buyer, and the buyer relies on the seller's expertise, those facts would give rise to an implied warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. Let me say that again. A buyer needs a product to do something special, something out of the ordinary, something different than what the product normally does. They go to a seller and say, hey, I need a product that will do this. And they explain what this is, their particular purpose. And then the seller says, oh, well, if you want something that'll do that specific purpose, look at this model right here. I think this one will work for you. And then when the seller makes that recommendation based upon their expertise, with knowledge of the buyer's special purpose that they want to use the product for, the law imposes, based upon those circumstances, a warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. It's a warranty that that product will be fit for that special purpose that the buyer described to the seller. As that definition suggests, you don't get that in all situations. There's a lot of facts there, and a lot of facts would have to be proven. that the buyer had something that was bought a product for something other than its ordinary purpose. They described that special purpose to the seller. The seller, based upon their expertise, recommends a particular product, and then the buyer relies on that recommendation to get the product. And then the product didn't work. That's when you get warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. So I'm sure you're wondering, well, what's an example of that? So let's say you go into a hardware store and you're looking for rope. Well, there's lots of rope available, but you approach a salesperson and say, I need a rope strong enough to lift a 2,000-pound tractor up 2 stories. We're going to raise it and put it up in a building. That would suggest a rope that is beyond the ordinary purpose because it's an extreme weight that you're lifting and because it needs to be strong enough to suspend something, pull it up. If you, the buyer, inform the seller of this special purpose and you see that something beyond the ordinary use of a rope, and then the seller says, oh, well, then you need this rope over here, model XBP. This rope is specially designed for extremely high weights and can be used in the circumstances you describe. And then they recommend it to you. You rely on their recommendation. You purchase that rope. You go and try to lift the tractor, and then the rope breaks and the tractor is destroyed. You might decide to sue the seller based upon the recommendation and say, if it had not been for your suggesting that particular rope, I would have never damaged my tractor. Seems a little far-fetched, but it can happen, which is another reason why stores like to try and train their salespeople to not make special recommendations. You provide people the menu of options. Here are all our ropes. Please read the descriptions that are coming from the manufacturer and make your own decision. That is the safest way for a store to operate. But if you had these special circumstances, then the law would impose a warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. So these first 3 warranties, all sellers may give. Warranty of title, all sellers give this whether they intend to or not. You are warranting, i.e. promising that when you sell the products, you have the legal right to sell them. You're giving a warranty against encumbrances. When you sell products, whether you're a merchant or non-merchant, you are warranting that no other party has a lien on that property. And if you are a seller and you are aware of a particular purpose that a buyer has for the product and you make a recommendation that they rely upon, you may be said to have given a warranty of fitness for a particular purpose. None of these warranties are set in stone. You can disclaim them. How can you disclaim them? If you mark the product as is or no warranties, typically the language used is as is, then you are disclaiming implied warranties. So if you've ever gone into, and I'm not sure if any of you have, sometimes you'll see this when you go look for appliances. There are actually stores who kind of specialize in selling dented or slightly damaged appliances. They still work, but they're not in perfect condition. If you've ever been in a store like that, you might notice that some of the products are marked as is. What the seller is letting you know is that this product does not come with any implied warranties. It's not coming with a warranty of title. It's not coming with a warranty against encumbrances. Now, the warranty of fitness for a particular purpose might still be available if those facts that we talk about arise. But they're also disclaiming these last 2 warranties of the warranty against infringement and merchantability. So let's look at those. These 2 warranties, warranty against infringement and merchantability, are only imposed upon sales of merchant sellers. So a seller who is in the business of selling the product or good that's at issue in the transaction. Every merchant seller, unless they disclaim it, is guaranteeing that when they sell goods, that the goods are delivered free of any rightful claims by any third person by way of patent, copyright, or trademark infringement. That's what the warranty against infringement means. When a merchant seller is selling a product, they are guaranteeing that that product is not infringing on the intellectual property rights of someone else. It's not counterfeit. It's not um, we haven't stolen the logo of some other company and put it on this product. Now, the seller can disclaim the warranty. Let's say the seller is just a retailer of goods. They don't know if the Gucci they're selling is actually Gucci. They could put a little sign on it that says "as is," so that they could disclaim any warranties. Where might you see this? Particularly if you have a seller who does like a secondhand shop. And so they're in the business of selling products, but they get all of their goods from other places, or like a pawn shop. They're in the business of selling resold goods, but they don't actually know the legitimacy or behind everything that they're selling. They might want to do put an as is here. So a warranty against infringement is a warranty that only a merchant seller can give, and you are guaranteeing that the product you're selling is not infringing a patent, copyright, or trademark of any other company. The last warranty is really the most common and the most useful, the warranty of merchantability. Unless disclaimed, every merchant seller is promising with every sale that the product that they are selling will be fit for its ordinary purpose. Fit for its ordinary purpose. What does that mean? That it will do what it's supposed to do. If Target sells you a Samsung cell phone, then the warranty of merchantability states that because that's a merchant seller, that when you purchase that phone is going to be fit for its ordinary purpose. The phone is going to work. If you buy a watch from Target, they're a merchant seller, the watch is going to work. It's going to keep time. The warranty of merchantability, as you can tell, is broad. It's saying if a merchant is selling you a product, they are promising that the product will work. If it doesn't, then they've breached the warranty of merchantability. The product must be fit for its ordinary purpose. The warranty of merchantability can be disclaimed if it is conspicuously marked as is. Some sellers might even go beyond and say no warranties. How is the warranty of merchantability applied to food? So this is an interesting situation, right? How is food fit for its ordinary purpose? Well, food does not have to be tasty or appetizing or good. It just must be of average quality and fit for its ordinary purpose, i.e. give you sustenance and not make you sick. So that's the bar is fairly low. It's got to be average quality. So how is the warranty of merchantability applied in the context of food? Well, we have two tests. We have the foreign natural substance test. I hope you can see on my little picture here, you've got some peas and chicken, and at the top that looks like that might be a roach. And that is applicable here, right? Because the foreign natural substance test is a test that you use if you're trying to make an argument that the food that you received has breached the warranty of merchantability, is not fit for its ordinary purpose. Depending upon what's wrong with the food, you might use the foreign natural substance test. In this test, if the substance complained about is foreign to the food, then you could argue that the warranty of merchantability is breached. And so in this example, I would argue a roach is foreign to the food. It's not part of what you expect to get when you order peas and chicken. Therefore, using the foreign or natural substance test, you would say the roach was foreign to the food, it should not have been there, therefore this food was not fit for its ordinary purpose. You, seller, have breached the warranty of merchantability. Conversely, if you ordered, say, a dish, let's say you ordered beef soup, and within the soup you bit on a bone and broke your tooth, and then you wanted to sue the restaurant for the broken tooth. The restaurant might defend using the foreign natural substance test and say, yeah, you broke your tooth, but you ordered a soup that had beef in it. Bones are natural to beef, and so this could be expected that there might be traces of bone in a soup that contains meat. And therefore, the fact that there was some small pieces of bone in your soup does not breach the warranty of merchantability. So if you have something that you find in the food, the foreign or natural substance test might be the measure you want to use to prove whether or not the warranty of merchantability has been breached. We also have the reasonableness test. But the reasonableness test, you're asking, would a person reasonably expect to find the substance complained about in the food? If the answer to this question is yes, then there's no breach of the warranty of merchantability. If the answer to the question is no, then there is a breach. So here you use this test if there's something about the food and you're saying, would a person reasonably expect to find it? So let's take another example. Let's say you order fish chowder. And the fish chowder, there's a description on the menu that says this is a creamy soup that's made by boiling fish down and just putting the meat in the soup. But you find a stray bone, and actually you find the stray bone as you are swallowing the soup, and it sticks in your throat and causes damage to your windpipe. Sounds terrible, right? That's what product liability cases are like. You might try and argue as the plaintiff that the bone was a foreign substance and therefore they breached the warranty of merchantability. The defense might argue, well, the bone was a natural substance that you should expect would be there when you order a fish soup. Then you, the plaintiff, could counter, yes, it is, maybe perhaps it is a natural substance, but based upon the description in the menu about how this soup was made, it was reasonable to expect that there would not be any bones. So you can use both tests actually sometimes within the same scenario, or one side might try and use one of the tests to support their side versus the other. The reasonableness test is a little broader and helps you to argue a situation when the foreign natural substance test doesn't work. You know, would a person reasonably expect to find bones in a soup that is which is described as being creamy and just made of meat? That might help the plaintiff in that scenario. How might we disclaim warranties? What does disclaim mean? If the seller does not want to be responsible for the warranties provided under the UCC, if they don't want to be liable under these different circumstances, what can they do? First of all, recall, they can only disclaim implied warranties. The seller has no ability to take back an express warranty. When they've made a statement of fact about a product, they can't take that back. But they do have the ability to disclaim implied warranties. The law provides that, first of all, in order to disclaim a warranty, it's got to be conspicuous. You've got to make sure that the buyer is aware of the disclaimer. Second, we have this catch-all, and you may recall from legal environment about unconscionability in public policy. A seller can disclaim a warranty, but if the disclaimer that they make is later determined to be unconscionable, in other words, just grossly unfair and against public policy, then we can use this kind of general category to say that that disclaimer was invalid. Yes, you made the disclaimer, you put the language on the product, but we're not going to allow you to do that because it would just be grossly unfair. Typically, disclaimers, in order to make them effective, you've got to use really specific language. It's got to say something like "as is," and it's got to be conspicuously set forth on the product and in any language and literature provided with the product so that the buyer doesn't miss it.